Back to another replay analysis of 7.27c. This is a request from this Brewmaster. His name is Jinija. Probably saying that incorrectly, but apologies for that. I believe that this was a legend level game. This is definitely something that he wanted to talk about in terms of like the laning, so we'll kind of get into that. Well, again, this is a more than an hour long game, meaning that after the laning phase, probably about 10-15 minutes, I'm going to 2x it. I'll do my best to catch every one of the team fights, but mind you, we have a couple other games to go to today, so we're going to try to keep things fast as possible. And even in this time, I will speed things up, because waiting around, not even high-fiving each other, this is a travesty. You got to make use of all of that time to get as many high fives as possible. But I like your itemization to start. I'm not liking how the fact that you're just giving it away for free. I think that you pretend to contest it. And again, we see another techies in this game. Oh my gosh. FML. Alright, but the techies is a support this time, so he's not an offlaner. So we'll see what's going on. Boosted till 6.7. Yeah, actually, I wouldn't be surprised, right? But we'll see. We'll see. I like to be again. We're spreading rumors because we're not sure about that last silencer. All right. Nonetheless, good body block here. You let your ranged. I thought you let your ranged in first, but you did not. All right. So what do? I think that you obviously this ogre's providing a lot of space, and yeah, I wish you were in more of a position for that because if you stood here, the jugs, yeah, he might have attacked you or whatever, but you would have been baited, so to speak. You would have gotten a couple extra hits in with that silence from the techies, the suicide. So, like, you don't need to be scared right away. If he spins, obviously you need to back off. Second thing is that you probably should be clicking his hero. Just check his base movement speed. It's 305, right? What are you? You're 137. Well, 3. Okay, well, hang on. Let me get into normal Brewmaster mode, which is now 305, right? 305, 305, right? So this is the type where, again, I talked about the tango thing, about knowing your positioning, understanding speeds. Like, you could have gotten a couple hits, right? You need to communicate with your techies. Every time he gets some silences in, if he does that, plus a couple of your right clicks, like, that's the time to do your damage, right? So you guys need to get on the same page. And this is probably a pub game, and I'm probably expecting too much, but this will help you via some sort of communication, right? Obviously, it helps. Even if you're playing pickup basketball, you're talking to the guy you're playing with, right? Yeah, you need to stop that clarity, and the spin is on up, and you should get away. You're taking a lot of damage. But yeah, and you tried to bait him with the high five. He does not fall for it. You've got the salve on up, and you have a stick, which is fine, because you're going to see a lot of that. And wow, a better love story than Twilight as you guys high-fived each other. That takes some coordination there. But you are a little bit low, and you're going to salve on up. I like the fact that the techies actually kept the creeps out of the tower aggro range, which is perfect. You don't want to push the lane. Obviously, having the creeps right here is perfect for you. I would probably tango it up. Okay, you went 1 first. Fine, you need some stats. You want to be a little tankier. That's fine. You're going into phase boots next. Okay, also okay with that. But do you get all of the last hits? That's the big thing. 6-3 versus the Juggernaut of 11-1. The techies, in my opinion, should be following out, finding where that ogre is. Because if he's pulling, obviously he needs to stop that, right? Because the creep wave is in a perfect spot for you. But you missed that last hit. Come on, man. You got one job. You're denying. Oh, last hit. Good, good. So your mechanics seem to be fine to me. You seem to understand how the laning works. You missed that last, or the deny, but that's fine. Hoop. Okay. Take a little bit of unnecessary damage, but that's fine because you have only 1 range creep. Not the worst thing in the world. Okay, and you're playing around with the shop. I see that. You're queuing up the next item, the next big thing. You have a salve and more tangos to go. Realizing that you want to trade, which is great. Okay, good last hits. Good last hits. And see, notice how, because the lane's in the perfect spot for you, and this techies, well, in my opinion, should have been stopping that pull, and has actually successfully pulled it, and now has put it in a bad spot for you. So this is kind of on your techies to make sure that is setting you up for success, right? Making sure that the lanes are in the right spot in terms of the aggro. That does a long I mean, it's very helpful for you. Oh, the silence again. Not ideal because, again, like, if you get a 2-man silence, that's like best case scenario, hitting both of them because of the amount of damage you do. But you definitely want to be aiming for the Juggernaut. You don't care about the Ogre because of the fact that he has so much regen. And I'm talking more in regards to the techies. He needs to be getting the suicides up on that Juggernaut. Just trying to zone this guy out will make your life a lot easier. Because the Ogre, if he gets into it, at the end of the day, he's not going to do a whole lot of damage to you. Whereas the Jugs has now got some items and can potentially kill you. So you do need to be a little bit careful. So this is the one you want to focus on anything. Ogre, you just let him ignore it. Or ignore him, excuse me. Juggernaut, in terms of the item, has a Wraith Band and does have a stick. So you probably shouldn't be casting spells willy-nilly. Alright. You got the last hit. You got the last hit. Good. Alright, you got stunned up on in, which is perfect. The techies secures the rune. Okay. Ogre taking a lot of damage, running into mines, but that's what ogres are supposed to do. They get the ignite one more time. They get the fire blast. The spin is probably very late, so the ogre mistimed that, right? If he timed that with his Juggernaut being in position and being able to spin on you, that could have done a lot of damage. But again, you're not so worried about that because of the fact that you actually have tangos and you're a good offlaner, and the fact that you actually have some sustain. They tried to do the pull here. Oh, there was a courier. That techies could have gotten that. I don't like your camera work here. This is bad camera work. Okay. The reason being, and we're gonna put it here, but what you want to do is you want to put it out here. Beyond this stuff, you might get run up on the mid laner, right? But the techies was in position, so you probably could have seen that with your mini map, right? But you need to constantly move your camera so that you're not always centered on the map, centered on the screen. Check out my YouTube. I did a quick tip on that. So understanding how you need to position your camera, it's kind of important in this case. All right, nonetheless, getting decent amount of farm. I mean, you're top 2, right? Can't say that your mechanics are at a fault right now, so you're doing pretty well in that sense. You're pushing the lane. I don't know how I feel about that. Like the way, like sometimes it's, and you missed the last hit. Come on, man, get your head in the game. You have literally one job, and that's to last hit that siege creep. That's like all you should be doing, right? But I don't think that you. Okay, hang on. Oh, you set it up just for him to get some last hits on you. Okay, you do have phase boots. And you need to spin on out. Okay, you phase on away. You should get on out of that. You should be fine. He's got no spin. Oh, you missed with the stomp. What is this thing called? The thunderclap. Sounds like an STD. All right, nonetheless, you're going to salve on up here. The ignite will cancel that. And you should be back in under tower. And Void has actually been pinging. Or Void Spirit's been missing. But okay, the tower's going to push. Again, techies, it hasn't really been, like, this is what a bad techie support will do, right? He's just, all he's doing is leeching XP, putting mines in terrible spots. Like, he has, like, one mine here, right? What he needs to be doing, and I hate giving techies tips because I don't want other people to play techies, right? So, but you need to be placing them, like, these two are fine. You need to be out and about. Where are things going to happen, right? Like, these ramps, the runes, you know, even putting things out here is helpful because it gives you vision for when you're going to see the pole, right? So as a techies players, this is what a, okay, as I say that, he has this awesome stack. Okay, so not the worst techies player in the world because that is a pretty massive stack. Holy crap. Oh my gosh, that's juicy. All right, and he's going to silence into that. He might die for this. Okay, that'd be hilarious if he died for that, but he does get an arcane rune ring for his troubles. And through it all, you're doing fine. 36 and 8, 37 and 8. But you do need to respect the fact that the Juggernaut is level 7, does have Omni up. But you do have Primal Split. Now, do you aggressively use it to just kind of zone out and just, you know what I mean, take the aggression to them? Or what is your play? Your play is to just sit with this satire. Satire. And then you're just going to pull him on through. Fine. I think that... Okay. All right. I was going to judge your pull, but you did it well, so... Ignites again. That's fine. Let up build up your charges. Okay. Thunderclaps. Fire Blast missed times. He wanted the last hit. He didn't even get that. So, all right. Swapping from coffee to water now. All right. So you've got him under tower. You're going to get a lot of farm out of this. Assuming you can last hit him. No. Yeah. And that's why you don't want it on the tower, because you missed a couple last hits because of the fact that the tower does crazy amounts of damage now. And the timings are all different, so to speak. So some things to note here. Ogre. Okay, so you don't need to stick with this unless you want to get some tower damage in. See, this is like wasted movement, right? You're either going to do some damage to it, or you need to back off. But just not being able to decide what you wanted to do. So like right here, like it's 952. Instead of this block, why didn't you move here and get the rune? Secure, right? Now you realize it. It's like, oh shit, 958. Yeah, that's a support's job. It's like, no, actually, that was your job. You should have gotten that rune. The Void Spirit zips on through. They do find the level 5 Zeus. What is that guy doing? The Suicide is gonna miss. The Zeus is like, I'm a god. I'm a god. He does get blown up by the mine. The Zeus actually tried to turn around and kill the mine. He dies in the end. And through that all right. You've got a 2 for nothing so far. You guys are in a pretty good spot. As I say that, the Dark Willow dies here. Solo to this Venge. Who's going to be going Yasha. Is going to turn into a core. Void. Haven't seen too much. Is going to go Orchid up next. Luna. Okay. Alright. Not the worst thing in the world. But this Bristle. Okay. He's going to get Pipe, which I think is probably the right call, considering the magic damage, obviously negating a lot of what Luna wants to bring. So yeah, I'm okay with this. But who on the Radiant side is going to properly... Oh god, yeah. That was just really bad positioning. Right? Like, if you know that the Ogre is being super aggressive like that, you got to be like, oh, why is this guy coming at me? You know what I mean? Like, this is where they're, like... Think of yourself as like the hot girl, right? And then you're being approached by this ugly dude. It's like, huh. Why is that ugly dude approaching me? He should have no right doing that. Just because of the fact that he's ogre, and for the sake of this analogy, that's the analogy I'm going with. So take that one to the bank. But nonetheless, I don't even know if you're the hot girl, but you're a brewmaster. So nonetheless, Luna here does have the one big item on the way. And there we go, the Dragon Lance. And that will just provide a little bit more space. But who deals with this Bristle? Right? Who's going to get the Silver Edge? Who's going to get the Vessel? You know what I mean? Like, already I see you guys, you know, you're set up for failure in this way. Like, if somebody was starting to get some of those items, I would feel a lot more comfortable, right? Like, this is the type where Bristle loves games where people do not itemize properly, right? He's that type. You tried to Primal, Fire Blasted, that spin. And you do get it off in the end. But what can you do? You need a micro. Oh, and the silence. Nice. That was actually pretty nice. But, the tornado. Okay, so you can micro the Brewlings. And you get the Ogre in the end. But now you need to run because you need to be careful. You turn into big Papa Bear soon. You're going to get spun on. Yeah. Okay. You're going to turn this? Oh, the Omni Slash. Oh, thank God for those creeps. Thank God for those creeps. And he looks to... Oh, you look to bait it. And here comes the Void. Wow, high five. I would high five you if I could, because that was an outplay, right? I don't know if you knew that the Void was coming, but to be honest, I didn't think the Void was coming, and I probably would have run off. But, you know, I play like a pansy sometimes, you know, I'm not going to lie. But nonetheless, you actually got the outplay. That, to be honest, though, you were super lucky that your creeps were right under, right next to you. That Omni Slash got spread all around. Like, that was super close, super dangerous. All right. You're going to get Vlad's up next. Cool. Aura. I like it. I think it's a good item. It's way cheaper now, obviously. And you're going to get the Blink in next. So Blink Split is on the menu. This Juggernaut. I would think... I like the Naked Javelin as opposed to the Mithril Hammer. I think I think the Javelin is better. Ooh! Brewmaster! Okay, you were fighting. You were playing with fire. You were very low. You do need to respect the fact that Zeus is there, right? Now you need some sort of to make sure if you're ever under half life and they have a Zeus, you gotta be like, oh shit, he could kill me at any moment. You gotta think of yourself like that, right? You gotta be somewhat play somewhat cautiously. Make sure that you have the regen and you have that life lead. So okay, Luna here getting up the Manta. Techies here. Okay. All right. So you're starting to pass along the tips. That's good. Bristle just happily farming. What can you do? What can you do? I mean, his hood is on cooldown. Curse Crown, and here comes the Eclipse. Very well done. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, good, good. But once that turns into Pipe Man, we might have a problem. And Bristle just, like, not realizing that, hey, Eclipse is off, cooldown. You know, I mean, it's what, 150? 150 seconds, I think? Yeah, 150 seconds. Is it? Yeah, it's 150 seconds. 140 seconds. 140 seconds. I was looking at mana. So, yeah, you just need an internal clock, right? Like, if you ever see an Eclipse, just hit Alt. Well, I can't do it because I'm not in the game. But you can kind of click on this, and then it'll have, like, a timestamp. So that you don't have to do the math. You don't have to remember anything. You don't actually have to think. So, just another tip in terms of understanding cooldowns, right? If you don't have Eclipse, this Luna's kind of weak, right? So now's the time to be aggressive. You can turn this around. A little bit more goo going in on the Luna, but are you actually going to do any damage? Probably not. Okay. Just push. And through that all, you're pushing the top lane. You have a mango tree, which, mind you, doesn't give you any stats. So plant it, preferably in a good, safe spot. I think that this is the new thing where you need a better neutral item than this, because that mango doesn't give you anything. And yeah, it looks like the Radiant team have completely scared. A TP coming in top. So space is being provided in the bottom lane. So you're going in the top. You can swap it if you wanted. No, he didn't go for it. And Core Venge is weird to me. Oh, taking a lot of damage. Very, very... Because, like, her attack range is so small, right? It's like Luna levels, but it doesn't bounce. That spin was super early. Does have Maelstrom. Something to note. But more magic damage from coming all the way in the Dire. Like, how you're trying to bait out the Juggernaut with a high 5 into the remote mines, but he's a little too smart for that. Bristle probably needs to run away. Yeah. A nice Fire Blast there. Okay, okay. Okay, Ogre needs to run around. He's faster. He needs to body block. You know, he needs to cut it off. Oh, Bristle solo. The Terrorize does get you actually to run away, but you are fine. And that's actually the direction you wanted to go, so he kind of helped you. All right, the Terrorize was very slow. T1 damage mid. And what do? Push. Good, good. All right. Make use of the space that's given to you. You're up 10-5, right? And I love the fact that, you know, fucking mad, right? This is the Seb name. But are you going to get your Void died into the mid lane? You get the last hit? Ah! You do? Okay, okay. Brewling's good. So you split just for this, though. You split for the tower. Not much else you're going to get. Notice the green one is running back here, because this is what you turn into. Yep. Oh my god, that was sad. Alright, Techies here. Okay, now this is the moment where we saw in the last game, where the Techies was there, right? What was he doing? He can be very aggressive with his mind, and I feel like this Techies needs to do that as well. I mean, we saw the power of that in the last game, right? Just the fact that how much map control it provided, how much vision. But you do need to be careful about walking into this. You do walk into vision, so they know that Techies... If you see this on the map, right, the Dire just saw you, right? And so they'll know that this entire area, the jig is up. There's not much of a surprise anymore. Okay, Luna, what are you doing? Still a ways away from Manta. Again, look, this is 1,000 gold. You're an Agi hero. Yet this is like, what, 500? 450? Why don't you swap these two? Right? Or even the wand. Right? Like, this gives you more damage at the end of the day. And seeing as you have the Morbid Mask, you don't really care about life right now. So, this is kind of like, and I use this analogy all the time on my stream, but it's kind of like having the Toyota... Okay, you get the Yasha, so I'll just shut up now. But basically, it's kind of like having the Toyota in the... driving around in a Toyota when you have a Lambo in the garage. You're not making full use of the stuff that's available to you. The Omni Slash will kill the Void, who didn't actually Void what was it called? The Pulse Away. Didn't even Astral Step, didn't even do anything, just kind of took that one like a man. Probably not what you want to do as a Void Spirit. You need to think of yourself as like an Ember, right? In and out. Find your pickoffs. If there's... Like, this is scary. This Ogre and this Venge, they will stun lock you, right? So you do need to respect that. So you can get picked off, and I wouldn't feel safe until I had the Yules, which you have queued up next, or, you know, Lincoln's, BKB, something that will make you more elusive. That's the way you need to fight, and not just man fight things and look for pickoffs. You're kind of in a weird situation because you want pickoffs, but if you're looking at the enemy team, like Zeus is like the squishiest of guys. He's probably the #1 target for you, especially since he brings all that damage to the yard. But Venge is probably next up on that list, right? These guys are, I would say, squishier than, say, the Ogre with his 1400 life, and of course the Bristle, which oddly enough has the same HP. But you need to focus those guys, make sure that you do kill them as quickly as possible, okay? But Dark Willow just wasting a little bit of time, and it looks like everybody and their moms is going Yules. What the heck? Yeah, with this Dark Willow going Yules up next, and through that push. Look, this Ogre, oh, Thunder God's Wrath used, a little bit of damage to everything. Yeah, Bloodlust. Yeah, I was gonna say. Juggernaut gets picked off in the end by mines, and this is the problem, right? This is what Techies does, right? Okay, and the Brewlings, the split has happened. The Ogre's in position, but can you do anything? You did kill the Venge, which is really nice. The Terrorize, oh, that was totally mistimed. But to be honest, I don't know if you wanted to terrorize this guy. You want this guy in position so that your guys can just kill him, right? You've turned into the Papa Bear form. Cursed Crown has got him stuck on in. He gets stuck in the Bramble Maze, does not know the directions. And the Cursed Crown as well. And the TP is now coming in for the Bristle. But man, this Ogre's been super tanky. And you're under tower, so you need to be careful. You don't have Blink. The Astral Step in forward. The Void is now in position. Does kill him with the Pulse. And you die for that. Yeah, I think you were a little too deep for too long. You do need to be a little bit careful. They get the silence up on the Ogre. The Orchid was there, but again, the Void, you Manta split off of that one. Or sorry, you Illusion off of that. You don't have Manta. And that's going to be a lot for nothing. But again, okay, you need to understand how strong you are. Sometimes you're not, like, you're going into the good fight. Obviously, the Ogre was there, but you need to kind of just back off. You need to have that sense where if I'm getting shot by towers and there's 2 other people, like, I'm only so tanky. I will die in the end, right? It's never worth dying for, okay? So you need to be playing safer. Sorry for not having net worth, but you need to be looking at your kills, your deaths. In my opinion, you've died 3 times, which isn't that much, right? But you should be at like 1 death right now, right? And that will help your game long term if you can play a little bit safer, knowing that you don't have split. Like, you can be aggressive, you can be blinking in, making those making those calls when you have your upkeeps and your spells up. But when everything is off cooldown and you're taking a lot of damage from 2 other guys in addition to a tower, you need to play a little bit safer, okay? So Void here does have the Yules as well as the Orchid. He's going to be getting Ags up next. Not too... don't find that too much of an issue. Satanic up on Luna, who in my opinion, like, with all of this fight, all the fighting happening in the mid, like, I feel like she needs to be pushing the lanes a little bit better. Like, she needs to be in those lanes, forcing rotations to happen. Because what you do, if you provide space in other lanes, like, somebody has to defend. Somebody has to come. Or else your tower is going to take structure damage, right? And then if, like, the Juggernaut moves bottom, then you can TP back to mid, take that fight 5v4 because, like, the Juggernaut had TP bottom, right? Like, understanding how the ebb and flow of movement, like a yin and yang, so to speak. If there are only so many people in mid lane, then you can kind of get away with it. This Zeus should die. Very easy target. He should be the #1 target. That Courier actually took a little bit of damage. That Bristle not quick enough to kill and snipe that Courier. They do get the stun up on the Void, who thought he was safe on his side. And the Eclipse has now been used, but that Blade Mail. And so they get the Yules on up. At least probably the Cyclone with the Brewling. But they get the Void, who swaps into an even worse position. And he dies in the end. And it's 2 for 1 so far. The Void falling as well. The Juggernaut was not even close by, but he does have... oh, he gets used up in the last second. He does have Omni, and he does want to fight this, but I don't know if this is the right time. Thunder God's Wrath has now been used all the way from the fountain. But, oh, Bristle, what are you doing? Your positioning is just completely off. Like, you're not that tanky yet, mate. Like, this Bristle. And through that, all the Juggernaut has died as well, so this has turned into a really good fight for the Radiant. And yeah, you should just kill the Ogre real quickly here. Yeah. And you're going to blink on forward, try to get that Zeus? No, no. That was a tasty morsel, and you let him go. But okay. Nonetheless, you've gotten 4 for 2. That was actually not a bad fight. You did really counter and come back into that game. Okay, by the way, I said I was going to 2Xs because this is a more than an hour-long game, so apologies. I'm going to go 4X now because there's going to be a little bit more farming. Not much is going on now. But yeah, technically you're winning this game. But one thing I'm not seeing, though, is that you haven't really taken the objectives, right? You are if you're looking at your lineup, you have a really good death ball lineup, right? Like, you can stick together. I mean, yeah, Techies is kind of like the weakest link, so to speak. But he should be aggressively mining while you're pushing a lane. But, okay, they get the silence on. It doesn't really matter, and he's just going to right-click you down. Probably not the guy you want to Orchid, right? And they get 3 for nothing so far. But if you lose this game, this is why you lose the game. Because when you had an advantage, and you're up 21-15, you're still up right now, but it doesn't feel like it, right? But this Luna has not been split pushing well enough, right? She is strong enough. She is literally the strongest hero on this map, but she's playing so timidly. She's playing in the jungles, just constantly farming. And this is the type where, even as an offlaner, you got to be like, hey, Luna, like, I got your back. I can protect you, right? I still have Primal Split. We can take fights, right? We have outs for you. But what's happening is that she hasn't provided that space, and she's been very reactive to the fights. She's been in her jungle. She's been hiding away. Like, this is the type where, as a carry, when is enough? When are you strong enough to fight? When are you comfortable, right? So that the entire team can play around what the Luna is comfortable for. Right? Like, getting all the way to Satanic at 27 minutes, like, you know what I mean? So you're saying for 30 minutes, you're not going to join any single team fight because you're not comfortable, right? This is a little bit of an issue, right? Where it's going to take some convincing, and it's going to round up, the sheep, so to speak, on your team, and playing as like a good shepherd in the sense of understanding and taking advantage of the peaks that you have. Because if you're looking at this straight up, he has 2 big items. He has a Manta and he has a Maelstrom. How many items does Luna have? Hurricane Pike. Morbid Mask kind of counts. Closer there, right? It's kind of like the Mithril Hammer now, but he just got the Mithril Hammer. Whereas the Morbid Mask on the Luna was there for a long time. Right? So, advantage-wise, net worth-wise, look at this. It's straight up numbers. Right? You are stronger if we're looking at directly, like, comparing apples and apples right now. Right? Yeah, he can Omni Slash. Yeah, he can spin out of your Eclipse and all that stuff. But if we're looking at straight up net worth, straight up itemization, the Luna is up. But the Luna is not comfortable. Doesn't have BKB, wants to get Satanic, all of these things, right? So it looks like the Radiant are fighting. And here we go. I would have just popped Eclipse, but that's just me. Fight. Like, why are you not even casting your Lucent Beam? Like, this thing is on cooldown. It's so quick. Right? Like, she hasn't casted it once. Like, the Lucent Beam, it does a mini stun, and the fact that, like, it gets on cooldown, every 6 seconds? You should be using it literally every 6 seconds in a team fight. And you guys are running, but it's 5v4. The Void is in a bad spot. Now you're popping the Eclipse, and now you're looking to go. You get the Venge. Okay, the Omni Slash, that's going to do a lot of work. So, yeah, you needed to have respected that. But the thing is that, where was the, like, I don't want to rewind it, because we got a long game. We have other games to go. But the Luna there was kind of backpedaling. I felt like the Astral Step probably, if he's looking to run away and he's getting focused, probably more to the high ground as opposed to directly in the river, like getting caught out like that. Like, and secondly is that when everybody was here fighting, you didn't cast the Lucent Beam, you didn't cast the Eclipse there. Like, that was the spacing, that was the timing that you needed to do, not when you're running away. Because things are like, oh shit, are we fighting, are we running, what are we doing? Like, we don't know. Right? There's like a mad panic, so to speak. So understanding when to fight and how to do that. And that's more on Luna to do a little bit of a better job. Because she could have dictated the pace of that fight. Definitely taken over. She very late, didn't even cast Lucent Beam. Alright, so this is going to look to turn into a Roche. A very quick one. Bloodlusted Jugs makes it easy. And that's going to be Eclipse and Titan Sliver. I keep saying that wrong. On the Juggernaut, definitely doing more damage. It's going to get Abyssal up next, which makes Luna's life a little bit scarier, right? I mean, the Omni Slash has been doing a lot of work. But yeah. Again, and this is why I don't like techies on my team. I feel like Techie's support, generally speaking, is not a good hero. Especially if you're just prolonging the game, but this is the potential of how things can go wrong, right? Like, what is the Techies, if you're comparing this game and the last game, which we saw a very good Techies, ranked immortal Techies, like, what the hell? How do you kill that which has no life, right? Like, what the hell? Like, I'm sure that guy has had so many reports, but nonetheless, the positioning, the spacing provided by the mines, all of that stuff, super good. Whereas this has been very, very different, very defensive, very reactive. And like look at these spots. These spots, like, okay, look, if this spot is gonna be mined, yeah, it spots it out. But the thing is that you've lost your T2, and this guy's gonna walk up on this, meaning that this team is gonna be aggressive. The Dire team. This is gonna do next to no damage to them. What you want to do is you want to get pickoffs. You want to know where they are. You want to know where their movements are. Like, this one's fine. Like this one, the ramp, all of these things. All right, I'm gonna stop giving tips to Techies players because I don't want more Techies players in this world. We have too many. I hope the Techies players die in a fire, but, you know, that's just my personal opinion on that. So the Dire team, feeling very strong, are going to start to 5-man it. The 4-stop fit. He tries to Manta it away. The BKB, the spin out on 1. And Jugs is looking for that perfect Omni. Gonna healing totem. They'll swap one more time, and here comes the Eclipse. And now the Omni's been used. The split has happened, and they do get the Bristle, who's just like looking to tank this up. The Ogre will die in the end. 2 for 1 so far. The Techies is the only one that's gone. So yeah, this is a good fight. You got the Yules up on Jugs, but without your team, you got the nice little Remnant. Does get out the Jugs, and that's going to be the Aegis. Can you get more? Buyback from Ogre. He's looking to come back in. The Cursed Crown, the Yule's up on the Bristle, and the spin out away. The Bramble Maze, he don't care about your Bramble Maze. He does get remnanted back, though. He Mantas away. Fucking mad, just running for his life. But Void is getting super low, and he went all in, did not have that cooldown. Oh my gosh, that was a huge mistake by that Void. Okay, one thing to note about this Void Spirit, and any sort of, like, you know, mobility hero, or even a PA, right? You don't want to use your blinks to be aggressive, okay? I mean, okay, for the PA, it's fine when you're starting. But after a while, you need that get-out-of-jail-free card, right? That Remnant that you're talking about, I'm talking more in the lines of like an Ember, right? Like the Astral Step in this case. You need that way that when shit is happening, when there's literally 4 people on you, they bought back and they're going to attempt to kill you, that is the time you need that spell to go get out of jail free. Right? If it's one hero left and he has a little bit of HP left, then by all means, go for it. But it's better to be more survivable and to make sure that you're safe. And again, this will help you long term in terms of Dota. Is that if you die less, you will become a better player. Like, look, if we're looking at deaths alone, not the worst thing in the world. But one thing that really sticks out to me is this 7 deaths by this Void. You've been the mid. Okay, if we're putting that in perspective, as the mid player, you get some of the most farm, the XP, especially early game. You dictate the pace of the game, you control a lot of that. But the thing is that you're up in terms of net worth, right? But if you've died 7 times by the 35-minute mark, pretty much that lead that you've created, you're throwing back to the enemy team. So you're actually hurting your team because you're amassing a wealth, but you're giving it right back to them. Okay, so if there's anything, the mid player, you need to be safer. Oh my gosh, they do get the Jugs. Yeah, they got the Jugs. He does have buyback, but there's no way he buys back for that. That was a really nice play. They're going to continue to get on more. They get the Yules up on the Ogre, who's going to die for this. So continue to catch on up. The Tornado, Cyclone on the Zeus. Get as much as you can. Now is the time to turn this around, but a DD Bristle, really? Come on. It's not like he's going to do a whole lot of damage. We'll just fast forward this because it's going to be... this is rape in some countries. Oh, nice swap. He's going to keep himself alive, throw the Bristle back into that, but he dies in the end. And Bristle was like, oh shit, I was in a good spot. Now I'm in a bad spot. And that's going to be the death of that. So that's a team wipe. Really good fight by you. The Radiant Tide, but the Void is actually taking a lot of damage. Does need to be a little bit careful. Does have a Salve. And this is probably one set of racks. Oh my god, the Void just died? Oh, he died to the... Alright, this is a fail. Okay, I got to rewind this just so that we can rub it in on this guy. Hang on, we gotta rub it in. Guys, we gotta clip this. Look at this. This Void thinking, oh, I'm safe. I'll have my salve up in a second, right? But what happens? The Venge, Aura, Retribution. Couple of right clicks. Mind you, this Venge is actually doing some work. Has a Manta, has a Butterfly. So the void dies on that. That's hilarious. Okay, but what I said was going to be a set of racks is looking to be bad. I mean, okay, let's see what happens. This is going to be close. Yeah, buyback is going to happen. You need to defend this. Good buyback there by the bristle. So not the worst thing in the world. But if you had your void spirit, this could have been a completely different thing. So that was a huge mistake, right? Not respecting the vengeance aura, the vengeance spirit, whatever that thing's called. But okay, we're gonna 2x it back in. I like the bristles. This is good itemization. This is the type that I built. Obviously not the Philosopher's Stone, but you don't really care about attack damage on the bristles, so not the worst thing in the world. But Luna here does have BKB and has a Minotaur Horn. Is gonna get Scotty up next. That's fine. That's fine. But again, I feel like it's coming back to the peaks, making sure that, you know, every time you get a big item, you should be fighting. You should be pushing something. You should be getting some sort of objective. And by not doing that, you're creating space, allowing the enemy team to get back into the game. And if you're looking here, this team has come back, right? 31-24. It's only 7 kills, but a 5K net worth lead. And it's looking to be the 40-minute rune / outpost. And okay, good. Secure this. Make sure you deny XP. Super good there. Somebody needs to fix the mid lane. And yeah, equalize in terms of this. Now the mid lane will always push, so you need to be careful. Like, you need to fix the lanes as much as possible. You need to create as much space as possible as well. You do have Illusion Escape. Mind you, this is... Okay, when you create this, the illusion lasts for 30 seconds. The cooldown is 30 seconds, meaning that every single time this is on cooldown, you should be using it. Eclipse is going to be used. The BKBs all around. The Omnislash is bouncing all over the place in terms of the illusions as well as the Brewlings. But you got to focus that Juggernaut. He's going to spin on away. Oh, the Void. Not really focusing the right one. They do kill the Venge, though. And the Venge, this time the Void is a little bit smarter. He heals himself. They get the silence up on the Zeus. They do kill him. It's 2 for nothing so far. But the Luna doesn't really have the BKB, doesn't have the Eclipse, and he's going to look to run away. The Remnant, actually saving him for now, is very low. But this Juggernaut is definitely someone they need respect. It looks like they're going to actually retreat, and I think that's a pretty good call. Right now is the time where you got to get your HP back up, regroup, and take it back into their face, so to speak, and get a 5v3 fight. But wow, Dire Team, they don't care. And they're looking to take Roche. They're down 2 heroes. This is super risky. Now, if the Radiant team, if there's ever a time they're like to scout this one out, this could be game winning. Yeah. Okay. So the call's been made. They were pinging it out. They were freaking out. I think that's the right play. You got to get out of there. There's no way you take Roshan 3v5. And through that all, they're actually sticking around. This Jugs is somewhat hard-headed. Yeah. This should turn into an easy Roche. I don't think we need to see this, so we'll speed this guy up. Roche here. Cheese as well. Nobody. Okay. Brewmaster gets it. That's a good pickup, I think. All right. Luna is strong. Okay? I don't know how else to say it, right? Your Void is dead, though. And this Void has been dying a lot. Okay. You have, if you're looking at the bottom right, the surplus, the 3,000, 4,000 now. If you die, and if you look up above, you're going to die and you're going to give up a lot of gold. Unreliable gold, okay? If you don't know what unreliable gold is, you should look it up. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but basically, your percentage of gold that you're given is way higher. Oh, oh, hang on. I clicked on the wrong one. But you need to buy some of these things so that your surplus and your reliable gold, so you always do, you should never really have a surplus. Okay? So you actually have enough right now to buy both of these ultimate orbs. Okay? Use them, right? You can put them in your backpack or whatever, but as opposed to if you got killed and ganked now, you give up a lot of gold. Okay? So I'll let you Wikipedia that and just read up on how that works, because it's more complex than I want to go to right now. So definitely check that out. You don't want to be... Okay, you always want a surplus, but you will always want it around whatever the minimum is. The reason being is that you want buyback. Buyback is super important. All of these guys, saving for buyback, good. These guys, Brewmaster, fail. Right? You always want buyback after 25 minutes. Okay? It's definitely something, like, if you don't have buyback, it's on cooldown, then I'm okay with you just buying out. That's not an issue. But anytime before that, you definitely want, like, no item right now will win you the game single-handedly. So you need to think of yourself like that, in the sense of making sure that you have a little bit of a surplus and that you have buyback. Alright, so more action, illusions, doing some work. Okay, another thing to note is that nobody has itemized properly against this bristle. Nobody's gone Vessel, or sorry, no one's gone Vessel, yeah. And no one's gone Silver Edge. Like, how are you going to get through this bristle? I feel like this is the guy, this is the reason why you will lose this game. I'm calling it now. I think I said it earlier, but 100% this guy is almost unkillable to your team. Zeus dies in the end. 70 seconds. Does have buyback if he wants to go. BKB. Oh, they do get the Void. You went in way too deep. The Luna is getting very low. Aegis has now been popped, and this is looking to be a bad, bad fight, especially without your Void. The Eclipse is now being used, but it's going to bounce on all the creeps, and you're looking to face this, and he's looking to go for the Venge. The Terrorize. Oh, saves the Luna. Okay, so that was a good fear. Oh, but you've gone too deep. You cheese on up. You don't have... why would you dive in? Especially without Silver Edge. Or sorry, without the split, that is. And your Void is back. He bought back. He's looking to fight this. He's going to BKB to just run on away. But again, this Bristle. Like, Luna, you need to run, man. Okay, you heal through this. You got Satanic, but you can't outfight this Juggernaut who's become a beast. And you do kill the Bristle. So I guess props to you for that, I guess. I mean, you know... Not the worst thing, but, you know, like, how are you going to kill the Juggernaut? When you focus him, he omnis. How are you going to kill the Bristle, who's just super outright tanky, and is healing through you, and he's got mangoes galore, he's a mango seller. Okay, that's how you kill Juggernaut. That's how you kill Juggernaut. It's just easy. Just let him run into mines, apparently. But actually, all that does is just... and a buyback from Jugs? Okay. A buyback from Ogre. What the hell? Alright, okay, but it's because they're pushing the bottom racks and they're looking to save that. Okay, now you have win conditions. If you can kill the Juggernaut, you win the game. But this, but likewise, if they kill your Void, you're pretty much screwed. But again, this Void has been just throwing himself, right? 11 deaths, man. 11 deaths. That's actually a lot at this point. It's actually a lot. And so all the lanes have been pushed on out. They're going to the bottom lane. What can they do? And this is like the worst one remote mine. Okay, he was spinning and he blinked on forward. He got swapped on back. Don't care about no pauses. Why are we pausing? Alright. And they get the Zeus. Nice. So the nice split there. Control things. Alright. How are you controlling? Okay, you're going up on the Ogre. You get the stun, but you're kind of all over the place. Okay. Nice swap in there. Saves. Okay, doesn't save anyone. This Spirit does some damage. Okay, okay, okay. Not the worst fight. Not the worst fight. And that was a really bad fight by the Derek, because considering this Bristle was nowhere to be seen. If that Bristle's there, he kind of controls things, because people just don't want to fight near him, right? And he's kind of tanky. He's just super annoying. He's going to go the AoE Nasal Glue next with his Ags, which is fine. But what do? You've got 2 dead here. I like this push. Continue to push. Glyph being used. Yeah, that was really bad positioning by the Brew. But you're fine. Oh, you're so close. So close. Okay, you can't blink in blind when you don't have split. You don't have, like, BKB right there. I think that did save you in the end, but it was just super risky, right? At this point, if you're going high ground, your Luna needs to be here. And then you have ways to force her out. If you know, if it comes to that, you have ways to blink on in. You know what I mean? Just kind of protect her. But there's no reason to be beyond. Sorry, the camera work sucks. But like, there's no reason to be back there, right? It doesn't help you. And you've got an Aegis now, really quick. Good. It does have a refresher as well. Gives up a refresher to somebody else, and actually gives it to the Brew. You double the split, not bad. You blink in blind. You're freaking me out a little bit when you blink in blind like that. Anytime I see that. Okay, you're gonna go Moonshard next. Don't know if I agree with that. I think that you need to go tank. Oh, you're doing some right-click damage. Holy crap! You just killed the Bristle the first time he buys on back, and it looks like Luna's here and is looking to fight. Eclipse has now been popped, doing a lot of work, and does some kills the Venge again one last time, but the Void dies again. How many times have I said that? But the Luna out healing it with Satanic, doing some work. He's getting very low. Age has been popped. Dark Willow gets stunned, and he dies in the end. Now the split. The second one is here. You do have cheese, but you're looking to just run with that. And look at these little tiny mines. Does some work, does some damage, but doesn't actually kill the Bristle in the meantime. And the dust has now been used. They're looking to turn this around. And Jugs is like, why dust? And he just kind of gets out of that, and he just continues to kill creeps. Obviously popping himself out of dust, or smoke that is. And that's going to waste that one. So it's a 2 for 2. Ogre's doing a good job of just tanking all these creeps, or sorry, of the mines. And through that all, the Jugs is positioning properly, does have MKB. Mjolnir up next. But yeah, really back and forth game. I mean, you're winning by 18k. Let me speed this up again. Alright, so more action here. Ogre has brown boots, but he doesn't even want to use them. That's interesting. This is an interesting tactic. What the hell? Alright, I mean, you're so slow. 327, why would you not have boots? Okay, I'm out here judging. I'm sure he has a rhyme or reason, but okay, speed it up a little bit. Okay, so here's another fight. And your Brew is just going straight up mano y mano against the Venge. You decide to split it up now. You're coming back. And all you need to do is crowd control the guys that are going to stun your Luna. That's your goal. Let Luna fight the Jugs. And this Venge has been just really... Oh, he's Satanic. He's out healing it. Kills the Willow. Kills 2 so far. He does die. This Bristle does have Blade Mail. He's going to back up. And now the buybacks from the Brew. And they do get the Zeus as well. And they do get the Jugs. Does not have buyback. And that looks to be... I'm thinking that's game. I think that's game. Alright. So I guess you kind of, your Luna just kind of out-damaged everybody. It did get 6-slotted in the end. Using Illusion Escape, good. Doing some damage. And you've provided enough space. And you've gone in with the Abyssal. You got on the Ogre. Oh my gosh, this Bristle with the haste. Been used on up. It's going to stop that. You've got the... you're going for Thrones. You've got the split in. Luna don't care. Luna just going in. And that should be the Ancient. And GG. And just under the 1 hour threshold. But nonetheless, thank you so much for that game. That was a good game. Obviously, it was a little back and forth. There were ways to kind of just be a little bit more efficient. I think the Luna should have been out more, a little bit quicker. Just, again, every big item that you get, you need to make sure that you get something out of it. You're stronger than everyone else. And Luna, you're a strong, independent girl. Get out there. You know what I mean? Do your thing. Find out. Do some damage. You know what I mean? You're 45k, and you definitely did carry in the end. I'm sure your shoulders are very heavy from all that carrying that you've done. But, and good space provided. Again, thank you, Gia. I can't even read that. Janita. For the replay submission, and I'll catch you guys next time. Please give a like and subscribe on my YouTube, and please follow me on Twitch. I do this every single day, 1 to 4 at 8 +8 GMT on Twitch. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you next time.